Good day everyone. Today I'll be reporting on Article 3 of Republic Act 11131. It focuses on the examination, registration, certification, and licensure of criminologists. So, Section 13, passing the licensure examination. So, to become a licensed criminologist, you must pass the Criminology Licensure exam. The Professional Regulation Commission or PRC schedules this exam in specific places and dates based on their official calendar. So, Section 14, qualification for the exam. Before you take the exam, you need to meet this qualification. First, you must be a Filipino citizen, so or a foreigner whose country allows Filipinos to practice criminology there. Number two is you must have a good moral, certified by your school and your barangay. For foreigners, a certificate from a professional will do. Number three is you must have a degree in criminology from a CHED accredited school or a foreign equivalent recognized by CHED. So 4 is you must not have been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude. So number 5 is if you fail the exam 5 times, so you must take up and pass a refresher course from a CHED recognized school. So next is section 15, subjects in the licensure examination. So the criminology board exam covers 6 major area and difference percentage weights. So the first subject is criminal jurisprudence for 20%. Criminal jurisprudence and procedure. It includes criminal law, Book 1, Book 2, special penal laws, procedure, evidence, and court testimony. So the second subject is law enforcement administration or LEA, 20%. Topics like police organization, patrol operations, planning, intelligence, and even industrial security. So the third subject is crime detection investigation for 50%. It covers criminal investigation, organized crime, arson, traffic investigation, drug and vice control. So the third subject is criminalistics for 20%. So it includes forensic areas like photography, medicine, ballistic, and question documents. The fifth subject is CORAD or correctional administration for 10%. It talks about institutional and non-institutional corrections like jails and parole system. The last subject is criminal sociology for 15%. It includes intro to criminology, psychology of crimes, ethics, juvenile delinquency, human behavior, and research. So, we note that these subjects may be revised or updated by the board, especially if CHED changes the criminology curriculum. Practical exams may also be added if needed.
Section 16, persons to teach subjects for licensure examination. Section 16 states that only qualified the licensed criminology are allowed to teach criminology subjects that are included in the licensure examination. This means the teacher must not only hold a bachelor degree in criminology but also possess a valid certificate of registration and a professional identification card as licensed criminologists. In simple terms, it ensures that those who teach future criminologists are themselves professionals who have passed the board exam and meet all legal qualifications. So next, section 17. Rating the licensure examination. To pass the exam, a candidate must obtain a weighted average of 75% with no grade below 60% in any subject. If a candidate fails one for two subjects, they can retake only those subjects within 2 years. However, if they fail, there are more subjects, they must retake the entire exam. The section emphasizes the importance of competence and consistent performance across all areas of criminology before someone can be called a professional criminology.
Section 8 and report of rating. After every criminology board exam, the Board of Examiners must send the results of the test to the Professional Recognition Commission within 10 days after the exam has ended. This report includes the names and scores of all examinees. Once PRC receives the report, they will check and confirm the results. After confirmation, the PRC officially releases the list of passers to public through official announcement or online posting. Next, section 19 oath. All examinees who successfully pass the criminology board exam are required to take an oath of profession before they can officially start practicing as criminologists. This oath is a formal promise to serve honestly, follow the laws, and maintain good morals and ethics in the profession. It also shows your dedication to helping society and upholding justice. Next is section 20, issuance of certificates of registration and professional ID cards. After passing the board exam and taking the oath, the PRC will issue two important documents to the successful examinees. First is certificate of registration, proves that your name is officially included in the list of licensed criminologists. Second is professional identification card or PRC ID, serves as your official ID and license, allowing you to legally practice your professions. This authorizes them to legally practice criminology. So next, section 21, refusal to issue certificate. Even if someone passes the board exam, the Board of Criminology has the right to refuse to issue a certificate or PRC ID if the person has issues that make them unfit to practice. The board may refuse registration if the applicant was convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude, meaning a serious crime that shows bad character like theft or corruption. And next was found guilty of immoral conduct or cheating during the exam, such as dishonesty or unethical action. Next is mentally incompetent or unfit for the profession, meaning they cannot perform the duties of criminologists properly due to mental incapacity. Next is section 22, revocation or suspension of certificate. Even after you are licensed, your certificate and PRC ID can be taken away or temporarily stopped if you break the rules of or act unprofessionally. The board may revoke or suspend a license if the criminologist is conviction of a crime involving moral turpitude, serious wrongdoing that damages your moral reputation. Next is immoral or dishonorable conduct, actions that show bad ethics or lack of integrity. Next is fraud or deceit in the exam or registration, cheating or lying to get your license. Next is gross negligence or ignorance causing harm or damage, being careless or not knowing what you should, leading to harm or damage. Next is non-renewal of PRC ID for 6 years without a valid reason. Next is aiding the illegal practice of unlicensed criminologists, helping others pretend to be professionals. Next is illegally practicing during suspension, working while your license is temporarily stopped. Next is drug or alcohol abuse that affects your professional ability. Last is violation of CPD or APO requirements, not allowing PRC's training and membership rules. So next is section 23, resuance of revoked certificate of registration. So this section explains that if a criminologist certificate or license has been revoked, it can still be reissued or given back, but only under certain conditions. First, the criminologist must first file a verified petition to the board. Second, the license may be reinstated after 2 years from the date it was revoked. And lastly, third, the criminologist must prove that they are once again worthy. So meaning, they have changed and are ready to practice the profession with integrity. So if the certificate or ID is lost or damaged, it can also be replaced by paying the required fees and following the Commission's rule. It shows that the professions believe in rehabilitation and personal growth. So in simple terms, this section gives a second chance to criminologists who made mistakes in the past but have changed and want to practice again in a proper and honest way. Next is section 24. Non-payment of annual registration fee. So failure to pay registration fees for 2 consecutive periods is equals to suspension. So if you fail to pay registration fees for 2 consecutive periods, you will get suspended. It also applies to criminologists in both government and private sectors, and additional surcharges may be imposed by the PRC. This section says that if a registered criminologist fails to pay the annual registration fees for 2 consecutive registration periods, the board will suspend them from practicing the profession, whether they are working in government or private sectors. The Commission will also add penalties or surcharges for the late payments. So in the simple terms, paying your annual fee shows that you are still an active and responsible professional. So if you don't pay, it means you are not maintaining your license properly and you can be suspended from practicing as criminologist. Next, section 25. Renewal of professional identification card. PRC ID renewal requires completions of CPD or continuing professional development units. Next is membership in the accredited professional organization or APO. So a criminologist can only renew their professional ID after completing the required CPD units. These are trainings, seminars, or workshops that help professionals improve their skills and knowledge. They must also be a member of the accredited professional organization. So in short, you cannot renew your ID unless you have joined learning programs or seminars related to criminology. These rules make sure that criminologists continue to learn, grow, and stay updated in their profession. Next, section 26, vested rights automatic registration. So all criminologists registered before Republic Act 11131 remained automatically recognized. So existing certificates and permits stay valid and effective as if newly issued. So this section says that all criminologists who are already registered before this law took effect are automatically registered under the new law. Their certificates and ID cards will remain valid and have the same effect as if they were issued under this new act, as long as they are in good standing and have no violations or suspensions. So in simple terms, this means that criminologists who are registered before don't need to register again. Their license are still valid
and recognized under the new law. In conclusions, Article 3 ensures a fair process of examination and registration, upholding of ethical and moral standards, and continuous professional development and recognition of criminologies. So in summary, this section reminds us that being a criminologist is not only about passing the board exam. It's about being responsible, ethical, and continuously improving as a professionals. We must take care of our license, pay our fees on time, and keep learning to maintain the trust and respect of our profession. Thank you, and that's the end of our report.